Welcome back to The Paper Pursuer. Continuing on with show notes from episode 1194, the next one comes from the Dan Bongino show, titled Covington Catholic Student to Sue 5 More Media Outlets After CNN Statement, by Team Bongino, March 2nd, 2020. Weeks after CNN settled a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit with Covington Catholic's Nick Sandmann, the student is now suing 5 other media outlets, including CBS and the New York Times. Fox 19 now reports that on February 24, Sandmann's attorneys filed a status report with the U.S. District Court in Covington, Kentucky, and stated they plan to file complaints against the New York Times, CBS, ABC, Rolling Stone, and Gannett before March 9th. The report states, all of the future defendants listed above have published or republished statements made by Nathan Phillips and others that Nicholas blocked or otherwise restricted Phillips's free movement and would not allow Phillips to retreat at the National Mall on January 18, 2019. Nicholas reserves his right to file complaints in his court or any other court against any other potential defendant not listed above, subject to the applicable statute of limitations. Sandmann and other Covington Catholic students were viciously smeared by the media following the release of video footage which showed a confrontation between them and Native American activist Nathan Phillips during the 2019 March for Life in Washington, D.C. The mainstream media's original narrative was that the students were disrespectful to Phillips. However, it turns out that a longer version of the video proves that the students were taunted by protesters, most likely for wearing pro-Trump MAGA hats. The extended version of the video also shows Phillips approaching the students. After filing the lawsuit against CNN, Sandmann's attorney, L. Lynn Wood, tweeted a damning video about the media's shameful treatment of his client. The video asks, how long will we allow these media giants to tear at the fabric of our lives to further their own agendas? Will they ever be held accountable? The video continues, yes, they will. Nicholas Sandmann has taken a stand for himself and for you by filing major lawsuits against CNN and the Washington Post. Sandmann has also filed lawsuits against NBC and the Washington Post, and his lawsuit against CNN sought $275 million in damages. The settlement amount with the network has not been disclosed. It'd be interesting to see where these cases go. Oh, goodness. I'm going to get one more in here real quick. Hopefully the dogs and my son won't make too much more noise. Sorry, guys. All right, one more from Fox News. Billionaire Republican buys major Twitter stake, may oust CEO amid GOP concerns of bias, reports say, by Gregory today. Billionaire Republican mega donor has purchased a sizable stake in Twitter and plans to push to oust CEO Jack Dorsey, among other changes, according to new reports, raising the prospect of a shocking election year shakeup of the social media platform that conservatives have long accused of overt left-wing political bias. Paul Singer's Elliott Management Corp. has already nominated 4 directors to Twitter's board, Bloomberg News reported, citing several sources familiar with the arrangement. The outlet noted that unlike other prominent tech CEOs, Dorsey didn't have voting control over Twitter because the company had just one class of stock, and he has long been a target for removal given Twitter's struggling user growth numbers and stock performance. Singer, who opposed President Trump's campaign in 2016, has since changed his tune, raising the prospect that some of the changes to Twitter could make the platform a friendlier place for pro-Trump users. According to the Center for Responsive Politics, Singer donated $24 million to Republican and right-leaning groups in the 2016 election. As you know, Paul was very much involved with the anti-Trump, or as they say, never Trump, and Paul just left the White House, and he's given us his total support, and it's all about unification, Trump said in 2017. So I want to thank Paul Singer for being here and coming up to the office. He was a very strong opponent, and now he's a very strong ally, and I appreciate that. Twitter has long rankled not only conservatives, but also independent-minded commentators and left-of-center activists. In 2018, feminist Meghan Murphy slammed Twitter for the dangerous banning and silencing of users who didn't follow the platform's guidelines. Murphy was banned after writing that men aren't women in defiance of Twitter's stated views on gender. I don't want to draw a line that ends up silencing people who have political ideas or who are talking about ideologies or who are challenging popular discourse that has been deemed offensive, Murphy told The Hill. Twitter did not immediately reply to a request for comment. We prohibit targeting individuals with repeated slurs, tropes, or other content that intends to dehumanize, degrade, or reinforce negative or harmful stereotypes about a protected category. This includes targeted misgendering or dead naming of transgender individuals, Twitter's website read. Meanwhile, Jordan Peterson, the Canadian professor who famously protested legislation that would punish professors for refusing to use students' custom pronouns, began development recently on a free speech alternative to Twitter called ThinkSpot. And California GOP Representative Devin Nunes last year filed a major lawsuit seeking $250 million in compensatory damages and $350,000 in punitive damages against Twitter and a handful of its users, accusing the social media site of shadow banning conservatives to secretly hide their posts, systematically censoring opposing viewpoints, and totally ignoring lawful complaints of repeated abusive behavior. Twitter is a machine, Nunes' personal attorney, Stephen S. Biss, told Fox News. It is a modern-day Tammany Hall. Congressman Nunes intends to hold Twitter fully accountable for its abusive behavior and misconduct. All right, that's it for now, and I'll be back in a bit with the last couple of articles.